Yes. Happy morning, children. Hope you all are doing good and safe. Okay. So, children, in the last class, we have seen about who are the tribals and then how their life affected because of this British rule that we are going to see in today's class and the next class. Okay. So, we have seen the different kinds of tribals. Okay. The people who were involved in the different kinds of activities, the group of people. Okay, that is, it may be like the shifting cultivators, that is jump cultivators, and then the hunters and the gatherers, and then we have seen about who else? Yes, the animal herders, and even about the traders and the tribals. So we have seen about all these people, and the next we are going to see about the settled cultivators. Settled cultivators means whom in a particular place they used to settle and do the cultivation activities. Okay, so even in today's class we are going to see about the same chapter, that is tribals, Dikus, and the vision of a golden age. So here tribals, we know who are the tribals, and we know about the Dikus, that is the outsiders, the Britishers, and the vision of a golden age. With that vision, what this tribal they are going to do, the rebellion activities, they revolt against the British. So how they started to revolt against the British, those things we'll be seeing today. Okay, yes. So the next thing we are going to see about is settled cultivators. So by the name itself it is denoting settled in one particular place. They used to settle and they used to do the agricultural activities, that is the cultivation. See, the settling of tribals in the 19th century. So this tribals, they started to settle in the the maximum we can see in the 19th century, began to use the plow. So they started to use the even the the cultivating methods also, the plows and the cultivators, all those things. Gradually they got rights over the land. So earlier they were just tribals, they did not have any rights over the particular land. Okay, so later what happened, gradually slowly they started to get the right, the rights over that particular lands. Okay, hope you guys are understanding. No, children, the shifting cultivators means they will be moving from one place to another place. Okay, but here the settled cultivators means they will be settled in one particular place and they will be doing the cultivation activities, and slowly they started to get the rights over the land. Yes, see here, the Mundas of Chota Nagpur. So here what happened, the Mundas of Chota Nagpur is one of the group of people who involved in the cultivation. See here, the land belonged to the clan as a whole. So the particular land used to belong to the clan as a whole, and some became chiefs and others followers. So how we are following now, the same way. Okay, so few will be the leaders or the heads, or we may even call it as the chiefs, and other people were the followers of them. Okay, powerful men often rented out their land. So the few powerful men who were there, because as we have seen, they started to get the rights over the land. Slowly, gradually they started to get the rights over the land. Yes or no, children? So that time what happened, that is their land, so they can rent that land for the others. Okay, so that is what here they are telling about the Mundas of Chota Nagpur. This is one of the group, the tribal group. Okay, you have to remember, children, this is one of the tribal group who involved in the settled cultivation. Okay, so what here they used to do, the land belonged to the clan as a whole, and then the some of them who were strong, they used to become the chiefs, and others were the followers. And what happens, the powerful men often here, they used to rent the land to the others. Yes. And the next it is we are going to see about the views of the British. So what this British people started to think about this tribals. Okay, the views of the British. So children, you have to remember in detail you are going to study about this, the same concept in your 9th standard in a detailed way, because there you will be seeing about why this forest has evaporated, why this forest has been reduced, what are the main causes to demolition of this forest. All those things you will be seeing, and how this British administration started to affect India, pastoralists, how it affected to the agricultural people, and everything you'll be studying in detail. So if you want, you can just go through the 9th standard history book, the last few 2 chapters, the livelihood, that concept you can see. Okay, see here the views of the British. So the British uncomfortable with groups that moved about. So what happens here, children? Just imagine shifting cultivation. So what they'll be doing? So they will be moving from one place to another place for the cultivation activities. So that situation, do you think whatever the rules which has been made by the British can be implemented for them? They'll not be settled in one particular place. So it is very difficult to put their the implementation of their ideas, other changes, other rules on the moving groups. So that is the reason what happened, and even it is very difficult for them to even collect the revenues. So do you guys remember they introduced the different kinds of the settlements for the revenue collection? So what they started to do, they started to measure the land and they started to give it to the people. Okay, because to get the more and more revenue. Achha, no. So if the people are moving from one place to another place for the cultivation activities, that will not be a profitable job for the British. So they were not happy with this. The people who, the group of people who were moving from one place to another place with the name of shifting cultivation or slash and burn cultivation. Okay. So the British people, they were uncomfortable with the group that moved about. Okay. And the next point, wanted tribal groups to settle down and become peasant cultivators. So what they were expecting, they wanted, even this tribals also, like other peasants, other cultivators, other farmers, they can be settled in one particular place and they have to do the cultivating activities. So same like other agriculturists, they were expecting even this tribal groups to settle in one particular place, the settled, the agriculture. Settled cultivators easier to control and administer. So yes or no, children? So here what happened? Of course, if the people settled in one particular place, is it easy to control them and administer them? Are the people who will be moving from one place to another place will be easy to control and administer? Which will be easier? Of course, the people who will be settled in one particular place will be easy to control and administer. So that is the reason this British people were expecting the tribals to settle in one particular place and they have to do the cultivation activity. That is what they are telling, settled cultivator. Okay, so they were expecting the tribals to settle in one particular place and become the peasant cultivators like others, and that will be easier for them to administer them and control them and implement their revenue ideas or whatever. Okay. Yes. So guys, we understood about the views of the British. Okay. What were the views of this British? They were not happy with the people who were moving from one place to another place with the name of shifting cultivation, and they were expecting all the tribals to settle in one particular place. That is, they wanted to do a settled cultivation like other peasants who were doing, because by that it will be easy for them to control and administer and to implement whatever the new policies or the changes or the rules which has been implemented by the British. Okay, so here we are seeing about how this people, what were the views of this British, all those things. We have seen the different, the set of people are different group of this tribals. Okay, later how this British administration, how this British rules started to affect the life of this tribals, that we are going to see. Okay, so as we have seen, children, so everywhere there will be some chiefs. Who are the chiefs? For example, like a head of the village, like that. The same way, even for the tribals, they used to have a chiefs are the head person. Okay, so that time what happened in the beginning, only with the name of settled cultivators we have seen there. So they're the people who were very strong. They used to lend their land for the rent, and there was the chiefs and there were even the followers. Those things we have seen. But later what happened, due to this British administration, due to this, the interference of this British rules, what happened to this chiefs, to the tribal chiefs? We have already seen about the rulers, what happened. We have seen already about the what happened to the village headman, zamindars, that is the landlords. So all those people were suffering because of this British. So the same way, even this tribal chiefs also started to affect because of this British administration. Okay, see here, the British, before to the British rule. So before this British entered to the tribals activity, what happened? This tribal chiefs used to enjoy importance as a tribal chiefs. So of course, as a leader, what is the the dignity they will be having, the importance they will be having. So they used to enjoy that before the British rule. Exercised economic power. They will be like they will be even exercising some economic power. That means like a money activities also. Owned the right to administer and control their territories. Of course, the tribal territories which they had, so they had the right to administer them and control their territories, and had their own police. So even the this tribals, this is a very the interesting thing, children. So even this tribals had their own police also, and decided on the local rules of land and forest management. So who were involved in this? The tribal chiefs. Okay, this tribal chiefs, they were involved, or they were even engaged in the decision making on the local rules for their territories, the tribal territories, and the local rules for the particular land they used to have for their the territories, and even the forest management. Because as we know, the tribals used to involve maximum in the hunting, cultivation, and then the gatherings, all those things. So even the forest management also with the hands of this tribal chiefs. Okay, so you people are understanding, right? So in today's class, in this we understood about the settled cultivators, and then the views of this British. So the major views of this British was, they were not happy with the shifting cultivators. That means the people used to move from one place to another place. They cannot implement any of their ideas and control them. So that is the reason they wanted all the tribals to be settled in one particular place, and they has to be like a common peasant cultivators. So that will be helpful for them to control them and administer them. Okay, so later, what happened to this tribal chiefs? the heads of this tribal. So how it affected, that also